Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, and it is that time of year yet again. It is March Madness time, and yet again I am going to do my bracketology. I'm going to go through my bracket, make my bracket in front of all of you guys. But real quick, if you want to compete against me and the rest of the SFE Nation, join the 2019 SFE Bracket League. The link to this league will be down in the description box below, and the password is all lowercase letters SFE. Please come join and face me. So with that said, it's time to make my bracket. I've done little to no research, so all of the research I'm going to do is going to be in front of your face, and all I'm really going to look at is what their versus top 25 record is, and maybe some other small stats as well, just on this bracket page, because I don't care that much. I'm not the biggest college basketball fan. In fact, I wouldn't even call myself a college basketball fan, and I go to college, right? But my college decided to go 0-18 in the SEC tournament. Vanderbilt Commodores. So with that said, let's start with the East. Let's start at the top left. Here we have Duke versus either NDSU or NCCU. We are obviously going to go Duke here. We have VCU versus UCF. I'm not really sure who to pick here. Let's see who's better against the top 25. UCF, so let's give it to UCF. We have Mississippi State versus Liberty. Now, this is one of my upsets that I'm already pinpointing. I see that Liberty is 4-6 against top 25 teams. Mississippi State 1-5. Now, maybe Mississippi State was going against tougher teams than Liberty, but I think Liberty is well tested. Give me Liberty here. Virginia Tech versus St. Louis. Give me Virginia Tech. They're quite good, although they've struggled against some top 25 teams. They're actually quite good. Maryland versus Belmont. Now let me tell you people, okay? If you don't know, Vanderbilt's right next to Belmont. Okay, so I know a thing or two about Belmont, and I've hit on a couple Belmont girls. It hasn't gone well. So I'm going to pick Maryland, okay, to win this matchup here. LSU versus Yale. You know, Yale kids, they're smart. They're smarter than I am. I'll give them that, but they're not great at basketball. Give me LSU to win this matchup. We have Louisville versus Minnesota. I don't want to pick all the favorites. I picked one upset. Give me another one here in Minnesota just because I feel like it. And then Michigan State versus Bradley. Give me Michigan State to win here. Let's continue with the East. Let's go ahead and knock this out. So we have Duke versus UCF in the round of 32. Give me Duke and Zion Williamson to move forward here. Liberty versus Virginia Tech. Ooh, I want to do it. I want to do it. Virginia Tech 3-6 versus the top 25 teams, but their BPI rank is number 11. This is very tough for me. Notable results. They were able to beat Duke. I'm pretty sure that was without Zion. They lost twice to Virginia, lost twice to Florida State, got killed by North Carolina. Whereas Liberty did well against Lipscomb, lost a little bit to Bama, Georgetown. I want to be a little unpredictable here, but I'll play it safe and go with Virginia Tech to beat Liberty. We have Maryland versus LSU. Screw LSU. Let's get the Terps to move forward. The Terps always choke. They may choke round one to Belmont, but you know what? Let me go ahead and have the Terps going to the next round, the Sweet 16. We have the Minnesota whoever's, I think Gophers, against the Michigan State Spartans. Give me Michigan State to win this one. We have Duke versus Virginia Tech. Who will win this matchup? Of course, give me Duke to move on here. And then Maryland versus Michigan State. Now, a lot of people think Michigan State is quite good. And, you know, for good reason. They were able to sweep Michigan this season, one that beat them 3 times, beat Wisconsin twice, but they lost to Kansas, they lost to Louisville, they lost to Purdue. Maryland won and lost to Purdue, lost to Virginia by 5. Oh, and they faced Michigan State, and they lost by 14. Okay, that does not give me confidence then. Give me Michigan State to move forward. And then we have Duke versus Michigan State. And a lot of people think Michigan State has the potential to upset Duke. Tom Izzo has a chance to win his first national championship, or at least I believe it'll be his first. I'm not buying it. In fact, I don't even love having Michigan State going this far, to be quite honest with you, because I think they choke more often than not. Okay, especially when the expectations are on them. So give me Duke to move on to the final Final Four. We move back to the round of 64 in the South region. We have Virginia versus Gardner-Webb. Give me Virginia to win this. Who the hell is Gardner-Webb? Sounds like my ex-girlfriend. We have Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. Interesting matchup here. Who's done better against top 25? One's 2-4, the other's 2-6, but ESPN's trying to tell me that Oklahoma's better. I'm not buying it. Give me Ole Miss to beat Oklahoma in this matchup. We have Wisconsin versus Oregon. Oregon's been struggling without my boy Bol, and that I do not like, but let me see here. They were able to beat Wisconsin by 15. I hope that wasn't with Bol though. They beat Washington twice, beat Arizona twice. Lost to Houston by 4. You know what? Give me Oregon. I know there's no Bol, but I don't trust Wisconsin in anything, including football. I don't trust them here. Give me Oregon to beat Wisconsin here. We have Kansas State versus UC Irvine. UC Irvine 15-1 in their conference. Didn't face any top 25 teams, so I don't like that. They lost to Utah State by 24, lost to Butler by 17, yet not really much of a chance here. Maybe they pulled the upset, but I'm just not seeing it in the results that they gave me. Give me Kansas State to win here. Villanova versus St. Mary's. I want to go upset. Villanova, I don't think they're that good this year. Let's see, they're able to beat Gonzaga once. They lost to LSU by 4, lost to Mississippi State by 4, lost to Utah State by 17. Whereas Villanova lost to Michigan by 27. Oof, there's a high upset chance here. I think they could do it. St. Mary's. Do I trust St. Mary's? I do. Give me St. Mary's to defeat Villanova here. Purdue versus Old Dominion. Give me Purdue to win against Old Dominion because I don't see anything dominating about them. All right, we have Cincinnati versus Iowa. Is Iowa good at basketball? This is news to me. Hey, they're 4-6 against top 25 teams. I like that. They did decent in the conference. They beat Michigan once. So you know what? Fine. Give me Iowa to upset Cincinnati here. And then we have Tennessee versus Colgate. Give me Tennessee to defeat Colgate. We now move on to the top of the bracket. Once again, we have Virginia versus Ole Miss. Give me Virginia to move on and defeat Ole Miss. We have Kansas State versus Oregon. And again, I want to be a little unpredictable, but I have to go Kansas State here because I'm really giving Oregon a break by even getting to this point. We have St. Mary's versus Purdue. Is Purdue really that good? Wow, apparently ESPN has them ranked as their 10th best team. They beat Michigan State, lost to Michigan by 19. They have some okay results. They should be able to win this matchup. Give me Purdue to move on, and then give me Tennessee to defeat Iowa and move on to the Sweet 16. We have Virginia versus Kansas State now. Is Kansas State really that good? Are they really that good? No, they're not. Virginia's been ranked #1 all season. I think that continues. Give me Virginia here. Purdue versus Tennessee. Tennessee's been struggling a little bit lately. They had such a horrible loss to Auburn. They're only 3-4 against top 25 teams. Give me Purdue to move on, defeat Tennessee. I just don't see Tennessee going very far. They almost lost to us Vanderbilt this season, and I couldn't believe it. I was at the game, and they should have lost the game. So give me anyone but Tennessee to move on there. And then Virginia versus Purdue. How about you? I don't know about this one. Is Virginia really that good? I keep hearing people tell me that, but you know what? I'm not buying it. Give me Purdue. I like Purdue to move on to the Final Four. So we move on to the west side of things. Let's go with Gonzaga over F. Dickinson. Who is that? Sounds like a Confederate flag general. Don't know who that is, but let's go ahead and move on. We have Syracuse versus Baylor, Jim Boeheim. Right, but this guy never really does well in the tournament. Look at him, he's 3-8 against top 25 teams, and they were able to beat Duke. I remember that, but look at this. They lost to Virginia by 26, lost to Virginia Tech by 22, lost to Louisville by 20. Give me Baylor to defeat the overrated Jim Boeheim. Marquette versus Murray State. Ooh, I want to pick my boy. I want to pick my boy, Ja Morant. But Marquette has some nice victories. They beat Villanova. They beat Louisville. They beat Wisconsin. They beat Kansas State. Oh, man, I can't do it. I have to go Marquette. Those are some impressive victories. 4-1 against top 25 teams is Marquette. Ja Morant won't be able to do enough. We have Florida State versus Vermont. Vermont, they play basketball up there? That's news to me. They only play 3 teams. Worth any notes here, they're 0-1 against top 25 teams. Florida State, from what I've been seeing, they're pretty well tested. Give me Florida State to win this one. Buffalo versus either ASU or SJU. And, you know, I love picking these 11 seeds. You know, that's been my move. So let me just stay away from that this time and actually pick Buffalo to win this game. We have Texas Tech versus Northern Kentucky. And Northern Kentucky, only 2 notable losses. 1 loss to Cincinnati, 1 loss to UCF, both by double digits. Not very impressive to me. Give me Texas Tech. I'm being very boring on this region. I apologize. You have Nevada versus Florida. Florida 2-9. Yoke. Against top 25 teams. I hate that result. They have had no success. SEC is not that strong. They shouldn't be 2-9. Nevada just looks like a better team, although they come from a weaker conference. Give me Nevada. I'm being very boring on this bracket. And then Michigan versus Montana. And, I mean, you got to go Michigan here. So, very boring, very chalk thus far, except for Baylor. But I just don't see any of the upsets on the onset. Now, how about this one? Gonzaga versus Baylor. And I think we may have something here. Gonzaga, they beat Duke by 2. Very impressive early in the season, but very impressive. They lost to Tennessee by 3. They lost to North Carolina by 13. And then they beat St. Mary's twice, Washington once, Creighton once by 11. Baylor won against Iowa State twice, Texas Tech once, Kansas lost twice, Kansas State lost twice, Ole Miss lost. Oof, I want to go upset here, but you know what? I'm going to save it. I'm going to go Gonzaga for now. But the Gonzaga, I like to call them the choking dogs because that's all I ever see them do. So we're going to come back to them real quick. We have Marquette versus Florida State. And I like these two teams a lot. I like what I'm seeing results-wise for these two teams. I think they've done very well. Who will I go with here? Now, it's very tough. I like these teams. I think just from what I'm seeing, again, I don't know what I'm talking about, but what I'm seeing in terms of numbers, the teams that they've beaten, these two teams look formidable. At least one of these two might be my one to knock off Gonzaga, but which one am I going to go with? This is a tough choice to make. Florida State, I guess, is more battle-tested, but man, I just keep looking at these results by Marquette, and they just keep, you know, pulling me to their side. Oh, man, just give me Florida State to win here, but just barely, just barely. Okay, we have Buffalo versus Texas Tech. Give me Texas Tech. They've been very good all season. And then Michigan versus Nevada. Give me Michigan. Back up, and I'm getting Florida State. All right, Gonzaga's gone. I don't trust Gonzaga to go far ever. Okay, I'm not making that mistake. That's the biggest mistake anyone can make to me. They are the choking dogs. Give me Florida State. And then Texas Tech versus Michigan. Tough matchup here. Texas Tech, what kind of results have they had? They lost to Duke by 11. 1 against Kansas, lost. 1 loss against Iowa State. 1 loss. Yeah, they're up and down, but they're able to dominate their weaker division. Maybe I should go Buffalo here then, huh? Maybe there's reason to actually go Buffalo here. But I won't. I'll stick with that. It's too late for that. I'll go Michigan now, but more and more I'm thinking that Buffalo might win here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's change that to Buffalo, because I don't like those Texas Tech results like I thought I was going to. And then we have Florida State versus Michigan. Tough matchup. Again, I think people are sleeping on this Florida State. I mean, they beat Virginia once. Yeah, they lost to Duke and North Carolina twice, but those might be the 2 best teams in the nation to me. And Michigan's very good in their own right. You know, let me pick Michigan. I think their kryptonite is Michigan State, but as long as they face anyone else, they should be able to win. We move on to the Midwest, as we have North Carolina versus Iona. And every year I see this disease, Iona. What is this disease? I don't think it's a college. I'm being told it's a college. I'm not buying this. This sounds like a disease. Give me North Carolina to beat Iona, whatever that disease that is. Utah State versus Washington. Oof. Okay, let's see what we got here. Just a quick glimpse. Washington's beaten no one, lost to Gonzaga, lost to Virginia Tech, lost to they've just been losing. I don't know why they're here. And then Utah State, both of these teams aren't very good. I guess give me Utah State. Which one do they have ranked higher? Yeah, give me Utah State to win here in this matchup. Auburn versus New Mexico State. I want an upset. I know Auburn won the SEC tournament, but I don't know. They haven't been that impressive all year to me. But, you know, they swept Kentucky. You know, they lost twice. Oh, no, they swept Tennessee, lost to Kentucky twice. and beat Florida twice. You know, and they lost to Ole Miss. They're up and down. New Mexico State, though, there's nothing to go by. Lost to Kansas and St. Mary's, so not really much to go off of there. I want to go upset, and F it. I might, for now, I'll go Auburn, but I might go upset if I go down this bracket. I don't have any more upsets in this region. All right, we have Kansas versus, who was this? NE? Who was this guy? Northeastern. Let's see what Northeastern is doing. They're ranked 80. They're pretty low. They got blown out by everyone, but they beat Alabama by 16. Not enough for me. I know Kansas isn't that good this year, but give me Kansas to win that one. Iowa State versus Ohio State. Interesting. I want to pick Ohio State, but Jesus, look at that. 1-8 versus top 25 teams. Lost 3 times to Michigan State. Lost to Michigan by 16. They were able to beat Cincinnati, but they lost twice to Purdue. Lost twice to Maryland. Whereas Iowa State has been able to get some victories against, albeit I think a weaker conference, but I think even that's not much weaker. So give me Iowa State to win here. Houston versus Georgia State. Should I even entertain Georgia State? I shouldn't, as they don't have any impressive wins except for Alabama by 3. Give me Houston to win this. Wofford versus Seton Hall. Sounds like a bingo ladder. Doesn't sound like a team to me. Give me Seton Hall to win this one. And then we have Kentucky versus Albo Christian. Sounds like another one of my ex-girlfriends, but give me Kentucky to beat my ex-girlfriend, Abel Christian. All right, move on to the next round. Okay, North Carolina versus Utah State. Give me North Carolina to win there. Auburn versus Kansas. Yeah, you know, I want to pick Kansas. I like the results that they've had here. And because I'm picking Kansas anyway, F it. Let me go ahead and pick New Mexico State first round and then Kansas to move forward anyway. That one can have a little bit of an upset chance there. And I can move ahead of you punks. All right, we have Iowa State versus Houston. Okay, go ahead and give me... Should be Houston, right? But I liked Iowa State's results from what I saw. Let's see, Houston beat LSU by 6, Cincinnati twice, UCF once, Utah State once, Temple. Iowa State seems battle-tested, though. They've had a lot of top 25 games. They've done well in them. Give me Iowa State to move on. And then Seton Hall versus Kentucky. I don't love Kentucky this year, but give me Kentucky to move forward there. And then we have North Carolina versus Kansas. Still got to love North Carolina to me. Kansas, this isn't a championship-type team for Kansas, and they understand that. Give me North Carolina to move on. But then here we go. Iowa State versus Kentucky. Now, Kentucky's 5-4 against top 25 teams. They're able to beat Tennessee once, but they lost twice to them. They got blown out by Duke. They were able to beat North Carolina. Very impressive. They won twice against Auburn, once against Louisville. You know, I like Kentucky. I'm a big John Calipari fan. I just love his personality. I love him as a guy. But, man, this is a tough one. This is a harsh one. I hear P.J. Washington is injured right now. I don't love that. Give me Iowa State to beat Kentucky and my boy John Calipari. But then ultimately we have North Carolina versus Iowa State. And I must go North Carolina to move on to the Final Four. And speaking of the Final Four, here we are. We have Duke versus Michigan on one side, and we have Purdue versus North Carolina. Now, I'm a huge Zion Williamson fan, as I feel like we all are. You know, nice kid, great player. I mean, how could you not root for this guy? You guys know I'm an NBA guy. I'm not a college guy. I'm an NBA professional guy. I just want to pick them to go all the way and win everything. That's what I really, really want to do. But from what I know, they're a bad three-point shooting team. And they've struggled three-point shooting in Michigan. Look, they're getting less points per game, but they must be a better defensive team, right? So is this the team that's going to slow down and ultimately stop and stifle them? I don't know. It's possible, but I don't know. I just got to pick my boy. You know, I'm just watching this thing for him and him alone, okay? He's having my eyes glued to the TV, and I want to watch him go all the way. So give me Zion Williamson. Give me North Carolina for the 4th time they've matched up. And then ultimately, give me Zion to fail here. And North Carolina to get it done over Duke. Yes, I'm going North Carolina over Duke ultimately. And I will say that it will be a score very similar to the last one. But that Duke, for some reason, finally went cold and they weren't able to put up enough points. I'll say 70-66. And that will do it. I will submit. And I'll go ahead and enter these things, because why not? And I will submit my picks. Oh no, I don't feel like doing that. Okay, so there you go. That is my bracket. Okay, go ahead, go down to the bracket challenge, complete yours. You can copy me if you want. I don't care. It's up to you. You're just gonna be right and win, and I know you want to be right and win, so I understand. So there you go. That's my bracket. What's yours? Comment down below. I want to know if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.